Alright, in this lesson we'll explore how to create a GroupBy object that includes multiple column values. So I'll begin by executing our code. And there you can see we have our data frame. Let's say I want to group by more than one column. Let's say I want to group by sector and industry. What I can do here is just call, or modify rather, this method that I have up here. And instead of giving it a single string, what I can do is provide a list. So I'm going to open my square brackets. I'm going to keep my sector, but then I'm also going to group by industry by adding a comma and writing in the industry column. So let's take a look. I'm first going to get our sectors variable, and I'm now going to call the size method on it to see how that's distributed. And what you'll see is that we're going to get a series, but now it's going to be a multi-index series. You can see on the outside we're going to have the sector, and it's going to be represented here, the same ones that we're familiar with, the 21 sectors, aerospace and defense and apparel. But within each sector we also have multiple industries. So now within the right sector, for example business services, we actually have a combination of different industries that are available. And the companies here are going to be classified into the combo that fits them. So the company that has business services and temporary help will be listed in their own separate grouping right here. So all of these combined values, for example 2, 14, 3, 19, 3, 5, 5, all fall under business services. So this sum of these numbers would have been what we saw if we just called the size on our sectors group by object when it was just grouping by sector. Now we've added an additional layer that we need to group these objects by. So the companies are going to have more than one criteria to refer to them by. So now if I do something like sectors.sum, and remember that's going to apply the operation to all columns that are numeric, we're going to get a multi-index data frame. We can see the sector is represented out here and the industry is the inner index. We can see that that's the order in which we added these arguments to our list that we fed to the GroupBy method. And here you can see it's a little bit more spread out. The revenue, profits, and employees sums are calculated now for each combination of sector and industry rather than just by the sector. So that allows us to go into even more detail, break down those classifications. For really extensive, massive data sets, it allows you to create, just a massive combination of different groupings together at once. And analyze the data like the sum or the mean or the average all within 2 or 3 lines of code. And all of the regular operations apply. So for example, if I wanted to just take a look at the sum of the revenues of every company within each of these, I can just call sectors, which is my new GroupBy object. I can just focus on the revenue column and call sum on it. And that's going to give me a series with a multi-index. Again, we have each combination of sector and industry represented. By the way, these sectors are, of course, always presented in alphabetical order, and then within each industry we have the same thing. Each industry here, for example, within our business services sector is classified in alphabetical order. And then we have the sum of the revenues of the companies that fall within those groupings, in this case, groupings of both sector and industry together. And as another example, let's say we wanted to look at the average number of employees in each one of these duo sectors. If I do sectors, employees, and then do mean, we can see that, for example, in business services, the advertising and marketing industry enjoys a much larger average number of employees per company than something like education, financial data services, or miscellaneous. So immediately you can start getting these conclusions about the data from aggregating it by just using these simple methods on top of this GroupBy object. So that's how you can group by multiple columns. Just feed a list instead of a single string value to the GroupBy method on our original data frame. And after that, all of the familiar GroupBy methods like size or sum or mean or first or last will all continue to work. And in the next lesson, we'll explore the AGG method, which will allow us to aggregate the columns in our original data frame with a different combination of methods. So I'll see you there.